Hello and welcome to the Jeffco Section 504 Overview for Teachers. Today we'll be discussing important information about Section 504 to ensure that all our students receive the support they need. Let's get started. Let's start with an overview of facts about Section 504. This law is critical in protecting students with disabilities from discrimination and ensuring they have equal access to educational opportunities. Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 ensures that students with disabilities are treated fairly and have access to the same opportunities as their peers. Section 504 works alongside the Americans with Disabilities Act and the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. Each law has its specific provisions and protections, but together they ensure comprehensive support for students with disabilities. The images shown in this slide are intentional and express that support can be provided to students in the academic setting, sport and club setting, and field trips. In some situations, Section 504 can provide the necessary support to help a student to get to school. Let's take a moment to talk about the similarities and differences between Section 504 plans and IEPs. A student is eligible for an IEP under IDEA if their disability falls within one of 13 disability categories and they require specialized instruction. To be protected under Section 504, the requirements are much more broad, as Section 504 requires a student to have a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more of life's major activities. It is important to note that when a student is IDEA eligible and has an IEP, their IEP serves as their Section 504 plan. In Jeffco, we never write both plans. Next, we will increase your knowledge about how we determine eligibility for Section 504 protections and for a 504 plan. As we move to the next slide, focus on the three questions we'll cover. The three eligibility questions are: does the student have a physical or mental impairment? If so, does the impairment substantially limit major life activities? And does the student require accommodations to ensure their needs are met to the same extent as other students? If the answer is yes to the first two questions, the student is protected from discrimination under Section 504. It's important to note that when the team reviews the evaluation data for the purposes of answering these two questions, the team can't take into account any mitigating measures. For the third question, we need to determine if the student requires Section 504 services or accommodations. If the answer is yes, we develop a Section 504 plan. If no, the student still receives protections from discrimination. It is important to note that when the team reviews the evaluation data for the purpose of answering question 3, the team can take into account any mitigating measures. To recap, we must answer the three eligibility questions with the data presented to ensure we are making informed decisions about the student's needs. It's important to note that a student does not need to have a diagnosed impairment to be considered for 504 eligibility. While medical documentation provides us with valuable information to answer question 1 and sometimes question 2, medical information is not required. The Jeffco Section 504 process includes the following 4 steps. The first 2 steps are submitting a referral for evaluation and obtaining parental consent. Following the referral and signed consent, a school may take up to 60 days to complete a comprehensive evaluation that will culminate with a 504 eligibility meeting. At the meeting, the 504 team will review the evaluation data and will answer the 3 questions. If the answer to the 3 questions is yes, yes, and yes, the team will develop a Section 504 plan. Referrals can come from anyone, including parents, teachers, or other individuals. Any child who has a known or suspected impairment should be referred and evaluated under Section 504. A physical or mental impairment can include physiological or psychological disorders, cosmetic disfigurement, or anatomical loss affecting bodily systems. Short-term impairments with little long-term impact are not considered disabilities under Section 504. With the 2008 ADA Amendments Act, Congress provided us with a non-exhaustive list of major life activities. Please note that some of the major life activities are easily seen and some are not. Congress has not provided us with the strongest guidance on the term substantially limit since 2008. As a frame of reference, compare the individual's performance of a major life activity to the performance of the same major life activity by most people in the general population. We must answer the three eligibility questions using the data presented to determine if a student qualifies for Section 504 protections and a plan. Medical data, parent data, student data, teacher data, attendance, behavior, and academic data are all important to consider based on the suspected or known impairment. If the answer to questions 1 and 2 are yes and yes, the student is protected from discrimination. But they are only eligible for a Section 504 plan if the answer to all three questions is yes, yes, and yes. When determining accommodations, remember these key messages. Determine accommodations as a team. No one person should be writing a 504 plan alone. Connect accommodations to the student's needs. Write specific accommodations and use a strength-based lens. A team approach is essential in writing accommodations. Who should be included on the team? Well, guidance from the U.S. Department of Education suggests that it should be a group of individuals who are knowledgeable about the student's data, and any possible supports the student might need. School teams must invite a parent to a meeting and consider the parent's input. If appropriate, students should also attend the meeting. Teachers are crucial in the 504 process. Your input is vital in developing effective accommodations for students. Your input is especially important as the team considers question 3 during the eligibility process and when a student is eligible or has a current 504 plan. We understand that attending 504 meetings can be challenging. If you cannot attend, please provide feedback to your 504 team leads. Teachers should share how current accommodations are working, suggest improvements, and collaborate with other teachers, parents, and the student to support the student's needs. Working collaboratively with parents and guardians is essential. Their input is valuable in developing effective 504 plans. Parent data does not trump the body of evidence, but it should be considered as part of the data the team is reviewing. Understanding the educational need is crucial. This image provides a visual representation of the importance of providing a student what they need at the moment. Decisions should focus on providing equal opportunities, not ensuring straight A's for the student. All accommodations, modifications, or related services should be connected to the student's specific educational needs. This is the most important key message when writing Section 504 accommodations. Here are some examples of specific educational needs and corresponding accommodations to address those needs. When 504 teams focus on writing the best need statements, writing 504 accommodations is easy and they're focused on what the student needs. When writing accommodations, be as specific as possible. This clarity ensures that everyone can understand and implement them. A strengths-based approach aligns educational strategies with students' cognitive learning styles and preferences, supporting their success. Teachers must provide accommodations as written in the 504 plans. It is a legal requirement and critical to supporting the student's needs. This is another reason that your voice and participation in 504 meetings is vital. Failure to implement a 504 plan can lead to legal consequences and disruptions. It's essential to follow the plan as written. 504 plans should be reviewed annually and reevaluated every 3 years or when a significant change occurs. In Jeffco, we enter 504 accommodations into the Enrich computer program. Enrich talks to campus and soars. Teachers access 504 accommodations in SOARs. This supports greater accuracy, less human error, and data privacy. Teachers, work with your school and mentor to learn how to access 504 accommodations in SOARs. If you have additional questions later, please reach out to the 504 team lead in your building. Thank you for your attention, and let's work together to support all our students effectively.